Hey guys, welcome to yet another video tutorial. This time I'm going to recreate Slack's website in our builder, and this time I won't explain each and everything. If you are, I've already explained a lot of stuff in the Trello tutorial. So if you haven't watched that, please watch that first. So let's get started. So first I'll open the Slack's website, our current website, and then I'll quickly discuss this. So the first this is what their current homepage is. I think it's very similar to the Trello's website in some regards. Most of these sites, they have this header, then they have these logos and the features. So that's why it's very easy to make them in the builder. But let's start. So first we will add this block to our website. So we go back, I'll delete this index page and we'll start with a new one. And now we will add a header block, which is similar to this. So what they have is they have a navigation bar. On the right hand side, they have this video, I think. Yeah, it's a video. And they have a heading and a paragraph. And I think we already have a block similar to this. Okay, so let's start and we will design this in the builder. So this is a header. I think we already have a block similar to this. So I'll first delete this page. Then I'll look in the headers block. And of course, we can use this. This is what we used in the Trello example. Or I think this is the closest. This has a navigation bar and a header. But instead of, I can just like use this block directly and I can just like fill this. But what I'll do instead is that I will create this block by hand this time, so that I am able to show you that how you can make your own blocks like this. And this is going to be, this will involve some knowledge of HTML or Bootstrap. So that is why if you have those knowledge, then you can make your own blocks. Otherwise, you can just stick to the ready-made blocks. And I'll be adding more headers and call to action and other blocks very soon. So, but for this example, I'll create this whole block by hand. So I'll again delete this page, and now I'll just use an empty block. So I'll just create empty block. So our empty block contains a section in which there is a div and a heading. And since first we need to add a nav bar, so I will remove this heading. And now we will do everything by hand. So when you select this div and you go to this basic tab, now you can add HTML elements to this div. All sorts of HTML elements and Bootstrap elements you can add directly. So here what we need to add is a nav bar. This is this thing here. So this is a ready-made Bootstrap element. So we'll just click on this. And inside this nav bar, first we have to add this logo. So for that, Bootstrap have this nav bar brand. So we'll add that. And since we want to make this mobile friendly, what we will do is, again we'll go back to the nav bar and then we will add a toggler. Okay, so this is the switch which will show when we are on a mobile screen. And since we are using it for a navigation bar, we'll go to the toggle settings and we'll say nav bar toggler. What this switch basically does is that it adds this particular class to this button. So if I turn this off, then this class goes missing, right? So that is all it is doing. And after that, we have to add a collapse. So the reason why we are doing this is because this is how it is done in Bootstrap 5. So then we will add a collapse here, and again we'll go and we'll make this into a nav bar collapse. So this is a class, it applies this class to that collapsible element. And under this collapse, now we will add the actual navigation. So we will go here and then we will find this navigation. And under this navigation, we will add links. So here we have like 4, 5 links. So we will add those links. So I'll just add 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 links. And there are 2 navigation bars. One is on the left and one is on the right. So we will add another navigation bar to our collapse. Here. And this, I'll just add a button in this one. Instead of using links, what I'll do is I'll add a form and then I'll put a button and we can just say sign up. We already have a ready-made block, but I'm just showing this to you in case you have to create some custom block sometime. And on this, we will, this is instead of this link, what we'll do is we'll put a drop down, because these guys have a drop down, right? And then we'll move this drop down on the top, and we'll just delete one link. And then I'll just copy this. First is product, solution, enterprise, resources. So I'll just say product, and I'll just add some sample links like item number 1 and item number 2. And then we'll change the style for this. I'll just do it using the classes. Maybe later on I will add a style here. So I'll just make it a link, and this is still working, and we'll change this to the text like whatever it says. This is like, I don't remember, enterprise and all. You can change this later on. And we have 2 buttons, so I'll just go and I'll just duplicate this button, and then we can change the button. This is a white button, so we will go and we will choose a white colored button, and this is a outline button, right? So we have that too. This is a ready-made button, so what you can do is you can just say button. I'll just delete this and I'll say button outline light. So this will add a light colored this sort of button. Once we have the background, and we don't need a background on this, so we will remove this class bg light. And now what we will do is we will add a row in which there are 2 columns. This is basically this thing. This is a row, and there are 2 columns. There on one on the left. I think they are 50-50. So this is this is like we will add 2 equal columns. So and we'll go back. Then we'll go to our div. Right, we'll go to the basic tab, and then we will try to find the row. Okay, and inside this I will add 1 column, and I will add 2 columns, right? And let me add a gradient so it is easier to work with. So I think it's like a solid gradient, but let me check what these guys are using. So if I go here, it's just a solid background color, right? So we'll just copy this, we'll go back, and we will also apply this color to our back to the section. So we'll put, and then we'll say this particular color. And these links, they, as you can see, they have turned black. So what we'll do is we'll go to this nav bar, and then we will set this to nav bar dark, and this particular we will say it to text light. I will add this class for navbar dark later on, so you don't have to like do it by hand. But for now, it is good if you have some understanding of Bootstrap. And we will add a margin to this button. So we'll just say mx2. mx2 is basically a margin of 2 em on this side, both sides. And we can also add a link. It's very easy. Like we can just move this link here just to show you. So we can add a link like this. You can change this later on. And now we will add the heading and the paragraph to our row. So first we'll go to this column, right? And then we'll add a heading. And we'll make the text, all the text light for this. I think I will make all the text light for this whole section. So we'll just go and we'll just type text light. So whatever is inside this section will be white colored because our background is dark. And then we'll just copy this, and maybe we can use a different style. So this is more, and of course we can add some padding to it. So what we'll do is we'll just use a ready-made style, like we'll just say m/4. So m4 maybe. So this will add some padding here, and this is inside a container, that's fine. Then we'll add a paragraph under this. It's taking a little longer because I have to explain each step. If you know, once you get the hang of it, it shouldn't take like more than 2 minutes to create this site, all these things. This digital HQ is, I think, a different color. So let me see what color they are using. So we'll also copy this, and we'll select this part, and then we'll go to text, and we can just like paste it here. Or what we can do is maybe we can even use a gradient so it even has a nicer look. That's totally up to you. And after this, we already have this paragraph. We need two buttons. What you can do is like you can see that these buttons are like this. Okay, so we'll just I'll first add these buttons like this. Okay, and I will add some padding to this, margins to this, sorry. So I'll just say ME2. This means that we want a margin at the end which is of 3 rem. Okay, so and then we'll say sign up with email, and we can also change the other button, sign up with Google. I'll show you a trick. What As you can see, they have a Google logo, sign up with Google. So on buttons you can add a logo. Like if I go and I'll say select a Google logo, then it adds a Google logo, and since we need it on the left, so we'll choose left, so it looks similar. And I think this button is white. Again we have to add some padding. So there's some difference, and you'll see that they have added some margin to this. So what you can do is you can either put some margin under this paragraph like this. Sorry, we are saying we need a margin MB, margin bottom of 5 rem. You can always add margins here also. What you can do is you can say like instead of like using this, you can also go here and you can say I need a margin of like 100 pixels. Oh, sorry, 100 pixels on bottom and top, or just like 100 pixels at the bottom. But it is much better if you use the inbuilt Bootstrap classes, like you say MB5. Or what you can do is you can put these buttons inside a div, and you can then add a margin to that div. It's totally up to you how you want to create it. And then there's another paragraph, so we'll add one more para under this, and we'll just copy paste that. And maybe we'll need some margin on this as well. And now that our this column is ready, now we'll just copy the video address. I think they are just using a video, ready-made video, and we'll go to this column, and then we'll go to basic tabs, and then we will find the video element. Here is the video element, and then you delete the existing one, and then you paste the link to that Slacks video. And then you make sure it auto plays and it is muted. This is very important that you mute it, otherwise it will not auto play. And you lazy load this. You don't need controls on this, so I'll remove controls, and you have to play this inline, otherwise it will start playing in a full screen on iPhone like devices. And you have to make sure that this video stays inside, so you will use this class, and this will ensure that your video never increases the size of this column. And then I think they have some padding underneath, so we can either add this in the section, like we can say padding bottom 5, or you can add this to this div. These classes MB, PB, MY, these are very important classes. You can always add padding using pixels, but better that you use them you just use it like this. So and this mobile, this is totally 100% mobile friendly because we used it like this. If you want to reuse this block, you can just say Slack header, and then you can just put it inside inside this headers, and then you can save this block. But I'm not doing that, but you can do it, and maybe later on you can reuse it for some other site. So let's go back to the desktop. So we made this whole block by hand, and this was it wouldn't take more than 5 minutes if I hadn't had to explain each and everything. Now we'll collapse this block, and then now we will add this block for the logos. So this is very similar to the Trello site. We'll choose a template block. We'll find these logos. I'm not going to change the logos this time. I'll just keep this logo same, and we need this heading, so we'll go back, and in the div we'll add a heading, and we'll move it on top, and then we'll change the text, and we'll probably add some margins to this here to this div. So we'll add a margin of 5 pixels, and then we'll center everything in this. And these logos you can change, like I'll just change one logo for you. So you go to logo and you just delete this and you paste this different logo, and then we can like move it here. So now we have you can change the rest of the logos. Now this, if you remember, this is the zigzag features. The Trello site has this as well. I think almost every site on for a big company has these zigzag features. So we'll just go and we'll add another block, and then we will add the features, and then we'll choose zigzag, and then we'll just copy this code from here, this text from here, and we'll copy this from here. And just like in the last Trello demo, this button is of a link type, so we'll make over here and we'll make it button link. So these are turned into links, and because this is also a link, and these are videos, I think. So we'll just copy the address of the video, and we'll replace this image, and we'll just paste the link for that video. And they have a very nice background color. Let me check what they are using for this. I'll just use my color picker for this. So they have this color. I'll just copy this and I'll just use it for my section. So I'll go to style, background, and I'll use a solid color, and I'll just paste this here. And this section also uses the same color. So I will do the same for this one. I'll select color, and then I'll just like use this. It has some padding, so we have to remove all the paddings, and instead of my, we have to remove this, otherwise it will form two sections. Okay, and I think it is better to add padding here. So I'll go to this section and I'll add a padding of 5 pixels. So there is no gap between these two, just like this side. If I add margins, then the white of the page will show from underneath it. And then we just copied this. I think the rest is very similar. You just copy paste these. Okay, I'll just do one more quickly. Rest you can do yourself. I think copy like this. Okay. We don't need a different alternating color. So this will make sure that all this is looking like this. And I've added two. You can add more, like, okay, if I'm doing it, I'll just do it all. So we'll go back to the basic. We'll use the empty block here, and we'll just copy paste this text here. And we'll just copy this video again, and we'll just paste the link. And one thing you'll notice that there is this shadow around the image. So this is by default. When you choose this feature zigzag, there it adds a shadow. So to remove this, you go to this image class and then you say shadow none. So it will remove the shadow from these images. So this portion is done. Now this is a very easy section. We have to just create this. We can just have this background. So I'll just like clip this up, screenshot, capture a portion. Okay. I don't know how Slack is making this, but we'll just make this background, and then we will use a video editor, photo editor like Photopea. We can just drag this and we'll remove the portion in the center, and we'll just keep the background part. Just delete this and we'll fill this up. It looks okay, I think. And we'll just save this, export as PNG, and we have this background for Slack. So we'll add an empty section, and this section has this heading. So we'll add this heading. We'll make it a big heading. So we can use like a display 3 heading, or maybe like this. I don't know. And then we add a paragraph under that. Sorry, oh, it's in the basic tab. Then we add a paragraph under that. and these are some sort of stats. But I think this will be in a separate section, so we'll upload the heading that we just downloaded, and we'll first center align everything. So we'll go to font and style, and then we'll say we need everything in the center, and we have to maybe there's some padding in the first, so we'll add some padding to this. So we'll say padding 4, and we also need some padding in the section because they have lots of empty space around it. So we'll say we need a padding of 5 pixels or 5 rem. And then we created this, we copied this background, so we will apply this to the div. So we'll go to styles, we'll go to background, and this time we'll use an image, and we'll upload the image that we just copied from the site. I don't know how they have created it, and I think instead of adding the padding to this, we should add the padding to this, so our background appears. Okay, and it's looking similar. I don't know. Maybe we need a smaller font size for this. We can just like say 1.5 em. Oh, that's wrong. It looks similar. I don't know. Instead of padding 5, we'll just specify the padding, say we'll say 200 pixels. No, that's too much. I think 100 pixels. Yeah, now it looks very similar to their site. And then we add another section. This is an empty block, and I think instead this is a row in which there are 3 columns, so we'll add it accordingly. So we'll delete this heading. We'll add a row. Oh, sorry, we'll add a row, and in the row we have 3 columns. Okay, so we'll add 1, 2, and 3, and they are all equal. So we will make it 4 by 12. So we'll go and we'll make it 4. And now what I'll do is I will add this as a heading and this as a paragraph. So I will copy this, and I'll go and I'll add a heading, and then I'll just paste this. And I'll show you a very cool trick. When you add this this Bootstrap builder has all sorts of text animations. So what we can do is first let us center align this. Okay, and we can add a very nice, like if I select this 85 and then I go to this counter animation. So and then we start from 0 and then we go till 85, right? And then I play it. So whenever somebody comes to this part, it will like automatically it will animate like this, and then we will put the text under this. Sorry. And we'll also center align this. And there is, I think they have like they have it in 2 lines. And now instead of this we'll just delete these columns, and I'll just duplicate this again and again. You can change the text and everything later on. Also you can change the color, like this is some sort of purple color, I think. So I'll just use this. I'll just use it for this one. You can change the others. Okay, so this is a purple text. I should have done this before duplicating it. Anyway, so this is done. This is again this features thing we did. So what we can do is we can just like duplicate this section, or what you can do is you can think of it as a 2-column layout. So it would be easier if we just make it into a 2-column. So these are the logos, these are the features. This is this part. Okay, so we'll say teams. And this is the stats. Okay, and now we'll add one more column, and here we will one more block. Here we add one more block, and here we'll add a row with 2 columns. So one easy way to do it is you go and you, instead of like creating this, there is a snippet for that. So it says 2-column row, and it will automatically create this for you. So we'll use that, and in the first column there is this video. So we'll go into the column and then we'll find a video, and then we'll just copy this address of their video. And right, and this is the text, so that's very easy. In this column we'll go and we'll first add a paragraph. We can change we can change the size and all, like we can make it bigger. We have a ready-made style, it's called the lead paragraph, and then we can just add this under the paragraph text only. And this is I think this is a link, so we'll add a link. And it says see more customer stories, so we'll just paste this in the anchor text. And this, I think they have put some sort of CSS style around this, because this video, even though it's the same video, it's looking a little different. Top left, and you can say it is 100 px. Border radius is like 100 px. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm putting it in the link, sorry. So if I think they've just like used some CSS classes to create this. So what you can do is you can go to this video, then select CSS, and then you can say border radius is like 100 px for the video. Okay, so you just put this in the video tag. Say object fit, its cover. So we have this similar effect. Or what they don't have it on the left, so you can say border left is 0. Do they have like this border radius? I don't know. I am not also sure about this one. Can you give it like this? Yeah, so it's like you put the radius for the top right and the bottom right. So you can experiment with this. I think first will be the 0, and this would be 100 px again. So it is something similar. You can increase it more. I don't know. You can say like 200 and 200, and then it will be like similar to what they are doing. And then you just put a one more paragraph under it. So we'll put this under the div because it covers the whole thing. So we'll go and we'll put a paragraph, and we'll make it small. So we'll apply the small class, and we also have to center it. So we'll go and we'll center it, and we also need some padding. So we'll say padding 4. So this is also done. These are again the features. What I'll do is I'll just duplicate this this one, okay? And I'll not fill in that. I'll just copy this block, copy to clipboard, and then I'll go to my page and I'll just paste from clipboard. So again, we have this zigzag features, but instead of zigzag, what we'll do is we'll use a different style. So this is called feature cards. And if I go like this, and then I can just like copy this image, and I can just like change this altogether. Like we can just copy this text, and I don't think they have any text here, so I'll just remove this altogether, and I can just like do it for the other ones. And there's one thing, like this is a bit different, so I'll try to see if this can be reconstructed. So let's I'll try to create this. So first I'll say copy image address. This may need some extra CSS because that design is not like the other features. So I'll try to see if I can quickly, there's some way to make it. And then we have this needs to go on the top. I'll just collapse the other features, so it's easier to drag. I'll just put this first, and we need a different background. So this is where you would need some CSS. So what you will do is this feature card, you will have to put some CSS. Uh, because we have to copy that particular design, this is why I have to write this CSS. Otherwise, I don't think you would need to do that. And something similar. And inside this feature row, we have this image, and we'll just say order one. So this would switch the features, and if you don't get this, it's okay. It's like some advanced CSS I'm writing, but I'm just doing this to show you that even this can be done. Even this is possible to do. But of course, this is a very special case, so we had to write some CSS. But if you don't want, then you can just leave it like this only. And these have a white background. So what we'll do is we'll go to these class and we'll say inner class bg white. We can also add some padding or something. So it's somewhat similar, not exactly the same. I don't want to confuse you. It can be easily be done. We are using the standard Bootstrap classes, so that's why it is looking a little bit different. But it can be easily be done like this. And after that we again have another header. Maybe I'll come back to this later on, and maybe we can do it better. Like this should be in the outer class. I'm sorry. So this will add it like this, and this is looking similar, not the same. But I'm just wanted to show you that because we have this option here, it is possible to do some CSS magic even when you are using inbuilt blocks. Like we are using Twitter's Bootstraps classes, but regardless of that, like with this CSS, it is possible to change this like this. Then we have this last block, and then we'll just create an empty block. Okay, and then we have a heading with two buttons. So we already have a heading here, so I'll just add this heading, and I will add these buttons under it. And this is a large button, so I will change the size to large. And first is white, and I'll again duplicate it, and I will add some, the other is in outline, so I'll say button outline light, and this is a white button for which we can just say button light for this one. Okay, and we need a background. I'll just see what they are using. They are using this color, so we'll also use that color. For this section, we'll go to styles, and then we'll go to background color. I'm sorry, background color, and then we'll just use this color. We don't need a padding, so we'll remove this. We also don't need and we'll use a padding here. So we'll say PY52, and we also need to make sure that our text is white, and we also have to center align everything. So we can just like say text center, and this button needs some margin to it. So we'll say margin start 3. And this heading, this also needs some padding, so we will add a bottom padding to it. We will say PB4. And then we have this nice sort of divider. So like I showed you before, you go to sections, you go to styles, you select sections, then you say create a bottom divider, and then you try to find this sort of divider. Like it's similar, or what you can do is you can, instead of like use this is more similar to this. And then there's this footer which we already have ready made. So we'll just go here and we'll add a template block, and we'll go to footers, and then we can look for something similar. It has lots of like this. So this is like similar. Okay, and here you will upload the Slack logo. Here you will put the links, and you can always change this. And I think that's pretty much it. We have like successfully created like most of their site. And even though we had a ready-made block for this, I created it by hand so that I can show you how the whole thing works. And let me see how it looks on the mobile. It's looking quite similar to their site. And I will now do an instant preview so that we can compare. I did not change these images because you can do that. It's very similar and it's repetitive, so I didn't change these, but of course it's very easy to do that. So I will now go and do the instant preview. This is the instant preview of our site, and this is the Slacks website. I think like before, the biggest difference is the font. They have a different font. I showed you how you can change the font. These buttons need to be bigger. So I'll go and I'll instead of like button gray, I can say button light. It's a inbuilt BTN light. It's like this Bootstrap inbuilt class. And we can make this a little bigger, and this one also a little bigger. And I'll try an instant preview again. And this video looks same. We can add more buttons here. This button, if I change it to light Bootstrap inbuilt button, then it will, I think, better align. Okay, I'll do another instant preview. This looks somewhat similar. These logos are also similar. I only changed one logo, rest are same. This I think I have to make a change. What I did was, I think I did not add a background to the section. So we need or the section has a container, so we need to remove that. So I'll just put the instant preview again. Okay, so what is happening is this section requires a div, and these features need to be put inside a container, otherwise they are taking the full width. So what I'll do is I'll just go and I'll say wrap self in div, okay, and then I'll add a container class, and then I'll put the instant preview again. So now these features are inside. What one thing I should do is I should go and I should set autoplay or play on scroll and muted and inline for all these. So what will happen is, like whenever the user comes to this, it will automatically start playing and also loop, because we want to keep them going in a loop and inline. And for all the features, autoplay, scroll, no controls, loop, muted, and inline. And I'll export it again. So these videos now start playing as soon as I scroll to them. I think I forgot to put these two buttons. I think it's now, by now you should be able to put them yourself. It should not be very difficult. I only changed color of this one, but it's not that hard to do. This video is similar to theirs. You can increase the size of this text. This is not looking very good. I think it's partly because we didn't change all these images. So let me quickly change the images from here to this. This image I have changed. This I have to change. We do not need this text. And we just get rid of this feature altogether. Okay, and then I'll export it again. Yeah, it's looking better. I think these buttons, you will have to change the class like I showed you. So for this, we'll go to the features, and for the button, instead of primary, we'll say button link. So they turn into links. And instead of like 2 lines, we'll just say learn abouts, learn more. This is similar. I think you can increase the font for this, and these buttons you can change. The footer needs some padding, but overall, we have like somehow replicated. Like I think Trello, we did a better job. This, I think it's 90% there. It might take some time to increase the spacing and to like fix some minor issues with this and change everything. But I hope that I was able to tell you about the powerful features of the builder, so that if you want to create a site similar to this, you should be able to do that. So that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks for watching. Bye.